thought that this has to be changed. And for me, that thought about integrated slum development was that if you want to make a change, then you should be affecting to as many aspects of a person's or a community's or a family's life as possible. So in plain words, that would be education, health, it would be basic services, water, sanitation, it could be access to affordable finance, it could be better livelihoods. But then if you wanted to do that, an NGO would never be able to do that by itself, because that is really the job of the government, to be able to do that. So an NGO, can act as a catalyst to help that happen too, but it cannot do it myself. So it became very clear that we would have to work with the government and with the private sector. So partnerships would become very important for us. But then partnerships means that you have to be, I don't like to use the word compromising, but you have to be adaptable. In one of the projects that we did, the first project of in slum networking, the partners was a corporate house. It was the municipal corporation, and it was Saath and NGO. All three having completely different styles of working. And I knew there was bound to be friction over there. And it did happen because I think, what happened was that the corporate house and the municipal corporation didn't adapt to each other, because, each wanted things to happen in their own way. While we didn't have problems with any of those, because we said that, fine, this is how you work. What is the best way of doing the work, keeping in mind that there are different approaches. So that was the slum networking program, but I would like to talk about how it happened. When I started working in slums, I also had been, that approach that these are poor people, they need help, they need assistance, etc., etc. And once we started working over there, I saw it was completely different. They had aspirations like anybody else. They were really like any other section of society, with the positives and the negatives, etc., etc. And the last thing that they wanted was, to be treated as people who required welfare and charity. They were willing to pay. They were willing to work hard. But there was no, there was no response from anybody else for them to be able to do what they wanted to do. So, the basic need in any slum will be water and sanitation. Yeah, and you cannot, it is not a product that you can go and just purchase. Many a times we hear this, especially when entering any large city in India, and if you are traveling by train in the morning, you see people defecating in the open. And from some people who don't really know will say कि अरे उसके घर में टीवी होगा लेकिन वो टॉयलेट नहीं बनाता है. Yeah, but the thing is, you can go and buy a TV from a store, but can you go and buy a toilet? You can't, because there are too many others, infrastructure, permissions, etc., etc., which are required. So, we helped design this slum networking project, in which we said that, people in slums should get water, drainage, sanitation, pakka roads, street lights at an individual level. Of course, the roads and the lights would be common, but the rest at a household level. And everybody sort of laughed and said that, "Arey, how can you give it at a household level? It's too expensive." So I said that no, they will pay for it. They said pay. They all want things free. So we said no, they will pay for it. So we were. This was way back in 1995. We were the only NGO saying two things: that they will pay and they should pay. Should was a matter of ideology. will was what we had experienced. So we designed it in which we said that, they pay 1/3 of the costs, and the remaining 2/3, there was one corporate house which wanted to do CSR, and the municipal corporation said we will give the other 1/3, and we did that successfully. The slum networking program has now been recognized as a best practice. It has got a few international awards, etc., etc. But what was missing in that piece was individual electricity connections. Now in Ahmedabad, as all of you would know, Torrent Power, earlier it was Ahmedabad Electricity Company, supplies electricity. So we went to them and we said that, look, why don't you give electricity? So they said, no, these people would rather steal. And it was true, a lot of slum residents did steal electricity. But it was not because they wanted to steal it, it was that the pricing was not right for them. I'm talking about 2002. The cost of a connection at that time was about 10,000 rupees per household, which was pretty steep, pretty high. So again, things happen when they have to happen kind of circumstances. We found that USAID had a slum electrification initiative going on. And so we sat along with them and we said, let's do a pilot project, 1,000 households, in which, slum residents would have to pay 2,000 rupees. The remaining would be a subsidy from USAID. And, we wanted to see two things. Number one, would they pay the 2,000 rupees? Number three, would the monthly bill be affordable after that for legal electricity? Normally, a slum household would pay 150 rupees per month. They would take 3 points and each point would cost 50 rupees. So 1 point for a tube light, 1 point for a fan, and 1 point for a TV. The 1,000 connections went off very fast. And the monthly bill after that was about 200 rupees, 225 rupees, which was fine with those people because they were getting good quality electricity. On top of that, they were getting an electricity bill, which could be leveraged for other purposes. So again, we went to Torrent Power and we said, now what? So they said, okay, this was good, but we need to do a larger pilot. So we said, okay, you suggest which area? So they suggested Johapura, where the people were afraid to go also, because there was a big mafia working over there. But after the 2002 riots, we had been working in that area, we knew people over there, and we said, do you want electricity? They said, yes, we want electricity. So in Johapura, we electrified about 5,000 households. The company had, we electrified about 4,000 households, and the company had brought down the price to about 5,000 rupees, yes. So from 10,000 to 5,000 rupees, they brought down the connection cost, and 4,000 people took electricity. Then the company realized, this is a good thing. They brought down the connection cost to 2,000 rupees, payable in 3 installments. Almost 80% of households in slums were electrified.